Hey everybody, this is Rick. I've had several questions about shaving, wet shaving, filing. I'm going to show you a wet shave video right now. There's no tint on here. This way, you'll be able to see it is actually a wet shave. Alright, we'll go ahead and get started. This has already been razor bladed, prepped. It just needs to be squeeged. One of the tricks to shaving, whether it's wet, dry, it don't matter. You have to wipe the top of this off. You have to. You got to get any grime or grud off the top edge of that. Bottom load, as y'all know, on 90-something% of the vehicles I do. Alright, so you got your tint in. Now, let's see if we can get a little close up right here. Now wet shaving, I'm gonna squeegee all this, but probably the best benefit to wet shaving is, if you can see this, you just barely want to get it over that beveled edge. Now you don't want to run it up here like this. You just want to barely be over that beveled edge. Alright, you can back it up. Now I'm gonna squeegee this. And the trick to wet shaving is you want to get it squeegeed out as thoroughly as possible. Now, I'm going to drop this below here because I use so much slip solution that I can just slide it later. So I can actually roll it all the way up right now. The trick to everything I do is my slip solution. I want it to be able to slide. And so right now, I'm easing it back up just to that beveled edge. Same thing here. It's literally just at the edge. Now, I don't wet shave all the time. Normally I just do a nice little micro edge. But sometimes when you're doing your nice micro edge, the film stops and maybe it's a little bit above or it's just a little bit uneven. That's a good time to use wet shaving. Wet shaving the entire thing is not always the best idea. A lot of times you just want to use wet shaving to kind of you know, fine tune your edge. And again, the most important thing is that you want this just to be super, super squeegeed out. That's the reason you see me using this bad boy. This pushes out a ton of water. Now, I like to just kind of do this sometimes. Just gives me a nice, smooth, dry surface. And it also lets me know if there's any moisture up here floating on the top. Now, you'll know this is barely just over the edge because you'll feel it with your finger, just barely lightly feel, and you'll feel it just overlap just a hair. And so you know that needs to be shaved off. All right. Now, the shaving itself, the angle is super important. Also, the pressure that you give it is super important. You don't want to be bearing down in this. You're going to want to, but the trick to wet shaving is a super, super, super light touch. So we'll go ahead and start. Now, if you can see, here's the angle I've got. And this corner I've got down just a hair. Now, I don't know if you can see that coming off. Now, remember, you don't want to push in very hard. Also, sometimes you might even want to wet the film so that your fingers slide across. And you don't want to get in a huge rush doing this. You don't just want to zip across this. This is not dry shaving. And when you feel the blade start to kind of get dull, go ahead and break you off a few of these clicks. And as you can see right here, here's some of what I just shaved. And this looks a lot easier than it is, especially to learn. Now, I've shaved it about roughly right here. And I'm going to come and start shaving over here. Again, the key is just to hold it ever so light. Sharp blade, light touch. And you also don't want your actual tool to wind up scratching, but that's how you wet shave. I'll go back and do this a final time. Anyhow, super, super light touch, sharp, sharp blade. All right, buds, see ya.